Hello everyone, my name is Nadeem Khan. Welcome to Uncommon Literature. Today we are going to do Pygmalion by George Bernard Shaw. It was written in 1913 and Shaw has based his play on a Greek legend of a sculptor named Pygmalion. He used to despise all the women and he did not find them beautiful enough. So he made a beautiful sculpture out of his own imagination and he fell in love with that. Later, he prayed to Aphrodite, goddess of love, and Aphrodite later made that sculpture alive. So definitely we will have a relevance of this Greek legend in the play as well. So in Act 1 we meet Professor Higgins on a London street and he is noting down the dialects of all people he is hearing, because he is a phonetician which deals with the study of sounds. Mrs. Evansford Hill and her children Freddie and Clara, they all three come out from a theater and it suddenly starts to rain. So all the people are standing in a shelter waiting for the rain to stop. Freddie goes to get a cab but stumbles into Eliza Doolittle. So, Eliza Doolittle is the protagonist of this play and she is a flower selling girl and she starts to shout at Freddie in her Cockney accent. And a stranger tells her to keep quiet because Higgins is noting everything in his notebook and they think that he can be a law officer or a police officer. But Higgins comes to her and correctly identifies her birthplace, and this surprises her a lot, and others also come asking him for the same. There is a character called Colonel Pickering and he also admires his command on linguistics, and Higgins boasts that in just 3 months he can present her, meaning Eliza, as a duchess. Pickering reveals that he is also a scholar of linguistics and he has come to London to meet Higgins, and Higgins introduces himself. He is the person he is looking for. When they are leaving, Higgins drops some coins in her basket and with the money now she goes home in a cab. Act 2 opens in Higgins' home and he is showing his voice recording equipment to Pickering. Mrs. Pearson, the housekeeper, comes and she announces the arrival of Eliza. Eliza wants to learn to speak properly from him, reminding him of his point that he can present her so well in just 3 months. She also offers to pay him some money, and listening this, Higgins laughs at her. But Pickering is impressed by the girl and he offers to fund her lessons, and he bets with Higgins that you can pass her as a duchess in the ambassador's party. Okay, so they both have a bet between each other. So let us bet that if you can pass this girl, if you can present this girl as a duchess in the party of ambassador. Higgins accepts the challenge and asks Mrs. Pearson to bathe her and burn her dirty clothes. We see Alfred Doolittle is the father of Eliza. He is an alcoholic and he has arrived. So he is demanding that now you are going to keep my daughter for a while with you. He wants some money in the exchange of that, and Higgins gives him £5 and he leaves. So basically, he is not concerned about his daughter, he is just an alcoholic. So he has come to get some money for his alcohol and then he leaves. Act 3 opens in the house of Mrs. Higgins, the mother of Professor Higgins, and it is several months now in the training of Eliza. She has improved a little and she impresses all the guests present there. The guests are the trio of Evinsford family, the mother and her two children, Freddie and Clara. They all are impressed by her beautiful dress and proper dialect. No one recognizes her as the flower girl from the street, and Freddie even gets attracted towards her. But when their conversation turns to illness, she starts to speak in her Cockney accent again while describing her aunt's death. Higgins excuses it as a new small talk, that she is learning the new trends, and he names it as a new small talk and takes her out. Before they leave the house of his mother, Mrs. Higgins shows her resentment on his experiment on her, and she says that what will happen of this girl afterwards, because he is making her like a lady of upper class, giving her all the manners of a lady from an upper class, but with little money or without a good income. How will she survive when she does not have means to live a life of an upper class? So this is the concern which his mother shows in front of him, but he does not pay much attention and the act ends. Act 4 starts in a midnight and we see all the three characters, Eliza, Higgins, and Pickering. They are returning from the ambassador's party and she has successfully fooled everyone by her performance. While they both are enjoying the success and celebrating their hawks, they ignore Eliza and she gets enraged. Later, when he comes to look for his slippers, she throws the slippers at him for ignoring her contribution in the success. She also is resentful on his lack of interest in her future. I explain that now his job is done, he is not interested in her any longer. So this also resents Eliza. He further suggests her to find a husband to live a good life, but she interprets this as prostituting herself and she gets enraged even more and she throws all the jewelry which he gave her for the party. Act 5 opens in the house of Mrs. Higgins. Higgins and Pickering both have come and they ask about Eliza who has disappeared. Mrs. Higgins scolds them for disregarding Eliza's feelings. Alfred Doolittle comes and he is wearing good clothes now, looking like a wealthy man. And why he is in this attire? Because in a letter to an wealthy American person, Higgins mentioned Alfred as an original moralist, and when that American died, he left good pension for him to deliver lectures on moral reforms. He has come to invite everyone on his marriage. He is going to marry again that evening only, and Mrs. Higgins announces that Eliza is upstairs and she comes down. When all leave for the wedding, we are with Eliza and Higgins only. Eliza shows her resentment over his rude behavior with her, but Higgins mentions that now he has become accustomed to her and asks her to stay as a friend. She mentions to marry Freddie, and later she will try to gain his respect, the respect from Higgins, with pride, because she is thinking to work as a linguistics teacher. With this, the play ends. Before we end this video, I would like to draw your attention to some of the critical points here. What basically the central idea of the play? First, you have to understand the relation between the legend of Pygmalion and the play. So Pygmalion created a sculpture of his own imagination according to his own ideal image. Similarly, in the play, Higgins also creates an ideal image out of Eliza, and he also starts liking her towards the end, as did Pygmalion in the legend. Another idea which is important in the play is of class. G.B. Shaw tries to show that how abstract the idea of class is, that by the way of dressing well, by the way of speaking well, everyone can easily transit the different classes of the society. A person can easily attain a status of a higher class by improving on his manners. So basically, the idea of class here is attacked by G.B. Shaw. With this, we have come to the end of this play. If you have some doubts, you can write me in the comment section. If you understood this play through my video, don't forget to subscribe and like the channel. Thank you so much.